Welcome back to the channel, Helldivers. Today we're going to be making an exosuit pilot loadout, taking a lot of inspiration from something like Titanfall. Now, if this is your first time with the channel, we like to make fun loadouts for Helldivers too. Also, here's the layout of the video. So if that sounds like your cup of liberty, consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and let's get started. Now, starting off in the equipment section, we are going to be focusing on the Terminids, but for your primary weapon, I would stick in the SMG category. Of course, we got the Gallon here, and this is a medium pen SMG. This is pretty good, a lot of fun, but a slept-on SMG, and I will say this till the day I die, is the Pummeler. This is excellent for the Predator strain, or to keep the Terminids at bay so you can either focus fire them, or get that distance to then take them out with something else. Love the Pummeler. I would stick with the SMG category, and something that's going to be one-handed here. The Stoker, also really good, but maybe stay away from the Reprimand because this is two-handed. Now, moving to our secondaries, I think the Talon is always reliable. We did get the Missile Pistol here, but this thing only has, 3 to 4 shots, and it's a little bit lacking, unless you were taking a supply backpack, but we're not going to be doing that. So this pistol here, although it's a lot of fun, we're probably going to be avoiding it. Other than that, I think something like the Warrant actually fits pretty well with this. Something like the Smart Pistol, again, taking a little bit from Titanfall, but this is a pretty good sidearm here. Other than that, of course, the Senator is always a go-to, but yeah, I would stick with one of these sidearms, and let's move on to the throwable. Now, for throwables, I've always just kind of been stuck between the two when it comes to Terminids, and that's the Pyrotech. Mainly because of Pyrotech here, you get 6 grenades to throw. That is really helpful for closing bug holes or stopping a bug breach by laying down a bunch of fire. Really handy. Similar to that is the Gas Grenade, great for crowd control, can take out bug holes, but you only get 4 of them to throw, but I think the gas is actually more effective at taking out chaff than the Pyrotech, but and I find the Gas Grenade really easy to use. Moving over to our armor passive, I'm going to stick with the Oxygenator just because it's new, and it's also pretty fun because you're pretty fast with it, and you can zip around the map. Really like this one. Comes in the heavy and the light armor variant. You're going to be seeing me use both of them, but I do want to give a little shout out to the Engineering Kit armor passive. This has been a staple of mine since the game has launched, and I am just kind of falling back in love with it recently because it's really nice to have those 2 extra throwables for a lot of the grenades. So those are the armor passives I would kind of stick to, and let's move on to the stratagem section. Moving on over to this stratagem section, and of course, because of the theme of the loadout here, we have to pick an exosuit, and we'll go through each of the exosuits now and kind of talk about the pros and cons of each of them. Starting off with the Patriot here, this would be my go-to. Just on paper, this is exactly what I want from an exosuit, but the rocket launcher's attachment there, not very powerful as an anti-tank weapon, or at least you don't get enough rockets with them. They either need to buff the damage with the rockets or just give you a lot more rockets to use, because right now, again, very underwhelming. The Gatling gun on it is also, I feel like it could be a little bit stronger. This is definitely the exosuit that needs the most buffs and the most love. I don't know if the developers will get to it, but I love this one, but it needs a lot of help. Now, the Emancipator here, this is probably the best exosuit, even with the new ones. Those auto cannons are just so economically efficient at taking out everything, especially with the Terminids here. It can close bug holes, it takes out chargers, it takes out Vile Titans, and you get so many rounds to work with. This is just an all-around workhorse, probably what you're going to be seeing the most of when it comes to the gameplay section. Now, with our latest warbond, we got 2 more exosuits. We got the Lumberer here, and unfortunately, this exosuit here we're really not going to be using it because the flamethrower attachment on it is broken. It doesn't work when enemies are really in your face. There's it just doesn't hit them, essentially, and that's unfortunate because fire damage in this game is really good. So when this thing is eventually fixed, I think this will be on par or at least in the ballpark as the Emancipator, because that anti-tank cannon that it has, very powerful, but it's not going to basically carry the entire exosuit if the flamethrower is busted against enemies that are too close. Love the Lumberer as far as the theme. When it's up and working properly, I think this thing will be an absolute monster. Probably not going to be seeing me use it too much. The next exosuit is actually the Breakthrough. And when I saw this one in the trailer, I thought, that one looks a little weird, but no, this thing is awesome. It feels amazing to smash enemies with the shield, and then also that close range flak cannon that it has, very powerful. Hits through heavy armor. You do have to reload, which is new for an exosuit, but man, this thing is awesome. I really like the Breakthrough. So mostly in the gameplay, you're going to see me be using the Breakthrough, and then you're also going to see me using the Emancipator majority of the time. So those are the exosuits. Got to lock in one of them for your first stratagem. And so let's pick some other stratagems that are going to complement your exosuit. So while our exosuit is on cooldown, what stratagem weapon should we be running around with? And I gotta say, if we're building into being very fast and mobile, I think using something like the Quasar Cannon is perfect because this thing will not run out of ammunition. You can always just retreat and you're very fast, again, because of our armor passive. And I think this works pretty well for the theme that we're going for. Additionally, if you want to take something like the laser cannon, this is a good choice too. Any stratagem weapon that again has great ammo economy, I think fits for this loadout that we're going for. So for our next slot, I want a backpack. I want a backpack that's going to support again our playstyle. Any of the guard dogs, so the rover here, the machine gun one guard dog as well. I think again work for our theme because these things will shoot while you're on the run. They'll cover you, give you a little bit of support. Additionally, if you don't want to take one of the guard dogs, I think going with either the jump pack or the hover pack fits with exactly what we're doing. We're just really doubling down on mobility, and with the jump pack here, you're getting a little bit of height. Maybe stay away from the hover pack because the hover pack, well, it gives you height mobility, it doesn't give you distance. So that's why I'd be sticking with the jump pack instead. But I would lock in one of those stratagem weapons, and then again, one of these backpack slots. And then that kind of leaves our last stratagem slot as a flex pick. If we want to stay in the robotics workshop, I think taking one of the sentries is perfectly fine. I know these things are kind of built like tissue paper, so maybe take the machine gun sentry because it has a low cooldown, so it doesn't feel as bad as losing something like maybe a gallon sentry or a rocket sentry. But these have kind of been my go-to. But if maybe you want to go for something that's going to be, again, another like workhorse, strafe and run, eagle strafe and run, this has always been amazing, still is. But if you want also a big hitter, something like the orbital laser, really good against the Terminids. Same with the napalm barrage. Maybe go with the napalm barrage. I've been seeing a lot of this lately. It's kind of just in go-to. It's always really solid. But anyways, those are the stratagems out of the way. Let's move on over to the overview where we can kind of see how this whole build comes together. Now for the overview section, again, the name of the game is your exosuit. Be careful with your exosuit. Love your exosuit. Make sure you're getting all the mileage out of it because you only get 3 of these to call in. You don't want to throw these down in a very compromising position where it's just going to get melted right away. These things did get a buff as far as their health, but they're still not invincible, so be careful while you throw these down. Other than that, while you're inside the exosuit, it's just go to town. You know, you can pick your shots, you can go absolutely ham, whatever the situation calls for. It's when you're done with your exosuit that this build needs to still function. And if we're building into a lot of mobility with using something like a Quasar Cannon, or even a grenade launcher as well, that's going to be really helpful. Again, with the Terminids in mind, you need to be able to close bug holes, and our kit has us covered because, again, Quasar Cannon never runs out of ammunition, but also the grenades that we chose, we get a lot of them to throw. And the grenades also are excellent at taking out a bunch of chaff because there's nothing worse than a bug breach coming up and a bunch of hunters swarm out and just kill you. So both the grenades are going to have you covered there. We're obviously taking an SMG, which is going to let you run and gun at the same time. Excellent for avoiding, again, a pack of hunters or even like the predator strain. That's what you're going to be seeing most of in the gameplay here because they are like the most of the Helldivers are focused at the moment. And then our secondary is really just supporting our primary, but I gotta tell you, using the warrant when a bug breach comes up and just sitting back and laying on the trigger with everything that it targets, pretty satisfying. This thing's a lot better than how it initially launched, and I'm happy for that. And then depending on your playstyle, either sticking with one of the guard dogs or the jump pack, again, keeps you on the move and keeps you safe. I think that's one of the best things as far as for your survivability against the Terminids because they love the swarm, they're fast. So a guard dog's gonna keep shooting at things while you're running, and then the jump pack will allow you to actually get away and reposition, so again, you can stay safe. That's why I like taking one of those backpacks, really helping out with our survivability. And again, for that last stratagem slot there, depending on my mood, if I want to be calling in something a lot, I will use something like the strafe and run to just absolutely mow down bugs at breach after bug breach. It feels really good. Even to take out a Bile Titan with the strafe and run feels very satisfying. But if I just want something that's kind of one and done for a long time, then yeah, Napalm Barrage, probably my go-to. But really just a final note, mobility is the key to success when it comes to this loadout when you're not in your exosuit. Obviously, while you're in your exosuit, you're kind of just playing out that fantasy and having a great time. It's when your exosuit is down that, again, you need to still be viable. You still need to be contributing to your team. And I think the kit and what we're working with, I think it works really well. Alright y'all, that's the loadout. Let me know what you've been running with the new Exosuit Warbond. I know all the controversy that's going on with the game. I'm fully aware of it. I'm just kind of in the state of when the game's fun, play it, and when it's not, don't play it. I think that's usually just the best policy when it comes to video games. Oh, but what I will say about the Warbond is I think they missed a big opportunity with providing us with either a backpack stratagem weapon that will heal our exosuits, but also resupply their ammunition. People want to be able to call down an exosuit and use it the entire match, taking care of it, not putting in a bad position. And again, I think the developers really missed a big opportunity with this Warbond. But anyways, guys, that is the loadout. That is the video. If you made it this far, I appreciate the hell out of you, and I will see you next time. Peace and take care.